Well, a little look back to the past before we talk about the current. That is Spread Eagle and Switchblade Serenade here on Trunk Nation on this Monday. My second of two back-to-back shows, hanging with you guys, talking rock music, playing rock music, and of course, taking your requests as well. Before that, we had some Sammy Hagar with Heavy Metal. Sammy getting ready to do some East Coast dates before returning to Vegas to do another run of residency dates at Park MGM. Whitesnake from the Slide It In album and Gambler, Kix and Midnight Dynamite, and some of the guys from Kix with a new project they're doing called The Bees before that, and Just a Shout Away. Very cool new bluesy, kind of Stonesy song from those guys. Here on Trunk Nation, mixing it up with a wide variety of rock and metal music, as we do when I take over on Mondays in the 5 to 8 Eastern window. Just mentioned I played Spread Eagle there a few minutes ago. We're going to welcome right now to the show for a few minutes an old friend and bass player from Spread Eagle. They have a brand new album that's coming out this Friday. Joining us live right now from the band is Rob DeLuca. Rob, how you doing, buddy?
Very good, Eddie. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, man, for sure. So you guys have been busy since this band sort of relaunched, huh? You've got a new record coming on Friday.
Yeah, we've had our newest guitar player, Johnny, for about 4 years now, and we've been hitting it really hard since he came in. And we do Europe and USA and every year, and we got like 13 countries this year. So we're always hitting it, yeah.
The new album is called The Brutal Divine, and it is out this Friday, right? Is the official release date?
Yeah, it's out this Friday on Frontiers, and you can pre-save it, pre-order it, and it's a kick-ass album. We're really proud of it, really excited.
Tell me about putting this one together, and was there anything that you went for different from the last record, or anything you wanted to try to set out to do a little differently?
As far as the construction of it, it was pretty much the same as our last one, Subway to the Stars, but the sounds are a little more aggressive, the mix is more raw, so the presentation is definitely a little nastier, but it kind of came together the same as the last album, and hopefully it will be received as well, and we love the songs, so we're excited to get it out there.
And you produced it, right, Rob?
I did, and the last one also.
And for you, is it difficult being a producer of the band that you are in with your band members? Like, can you be hard on them if you have to be without there being hurt feelings?
Yeah, but I don't need to be that hard on them. Ray West and Rick DeLuca and Johnny Paletta, they're amazing musicians and really cool guys. So of course we have our differences of opinion, but I just try to keep it as close to the original Spread Eagle sound as possible, and that's a journey to get back to the egg, back to where you were, but that's always in us because we created that, and we still love heavy music. So that's kind of my goal, is always to just keep it aggressive, keep it what our fans want. We know what our fans want at this point. We go out there and we play most weekends, and they tell us, we want Switchblade, we want Broken City, and that's cool. We love, that's a huge part of us. So we're trying to keep them happy and keep ourselves happy in the process.
And where did you make the record? Were you able to all get in the studio at the same time, or is everybody kind of spread out at this point?
No, we do it. We're old school. We recorded on a vintage Neve in Brooklyn, in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, New York. Mm-hmm. And it's like an old Neve that Aerosmith did overdubs for Toys in the Attic on, and it sounds incredible. We recorded with engineer Tom Camuso, Grammy winner. We mastered it with Howie Weinberg. So, we did it for real. We wanted to sound pleasing to the ear, not like too shiny, bright digital. So, and we do all our albums there. It's a great studio.
And for people that are listening that aren't well versed in recording and where things are at right now, I mean, things have changed dramatically. When you mention a Neve, for people that don't know, that's the type of recording console, and it's an old school console, and it's a more of a warm sounding console from what I know. But that's a big thing because it's like today, especially now, there's so many artists you hear from, and it's like, oh yeah, we were never even in the same room. We just sent files around to each other and all that. And, that's how a lot of records are made, especially, records that are made by artists without huge recording budgets and all of that. So the fact that you were able to get in there and get in a real studio on a real board is really cool.
Well, it is. And luckily we're good friends with Tommy Camuso, who owns the studio, and him and Scott Harding own the studio. So luckily we're in good with them. But it's very important for us to be there together, with me, working really closely with the guys. And I think it's a different animal. If someone says, I made this album in my bedroom with all these plugins, and it might sound fantastic, but that's a different animal than us. We're a real band, we don't use any backing tracks. We all sing, all four of us sing. And we record for real, and we record with real amps, with tube amps and vintage guitars, and so we're a special thing. We're old school, and we're so old school that we're becoming new school again. Because people are like, "What the fuck is this?" But,
well, look, man, I respect the hell out of everything you just said. I mean, that's to me what the essence of real rock and roll is all about. So nothing but respect on that front for sure. For those that, of course, remember, you played bass for Sebastian Bach and his band for years. You also were in one of my all-time favorite bands, UFO, for many years, replacing the late, great Pete Way. And I thought it was interesting because on this new Spread Eagle album, you covered a UFO song, and not one from an era most people would immediately go to, the second Schenker wave when he came back on the reunion, the Walk on Water period. You did the song Push to the Limit. So talk a little bit about the decision to do that, and of all the UFO songs, that song in particular.
Well, of course, when we first talked about it, Ray West and I, he mentioned all the big songs. If we were going to cover a UFO song, he mentioned all the big ones. And then I said, well, what if we did something not so known, not so obvious? And that song, Push to the Limit, we played it for maybe 3 weeks, Eddie, then on one tour. And to me, that is the quintessential UFO guitar riff. And I love that song so much. And
you mean you played it with UFO?
Yeah, but when we
okay,
pulled
right.
it
When
out,
you were in UFO, right?
Yeah, we pulled it out quickly, and it was so disheartening to me that we pulled it, because I was like, yes, I love this song, but Phil just wasn't feeling it for whatever reason, and I respect that. It's his song. So that song always has stuck with me. And so I mentioned it to Ray, and he heard it, and he's like, "Oh my God, this is a killer song." So we covered it, and we did a good version of it. I talked to Knorren about it, who Peter Knorren, and he was all thumbs up, and we went with it, and I think we did a good version.
Yeah, no, definitely, for sure. And I thought it was cool that you did do something different, because the immediate, if you're going to cover UFO, the immediate thought most people would go to is Doctor, Only You Can Rock Me, Too Hot to Handle, something like that. But you went with something different, and there's great stuff on that Walk on Water album, and that's certainly one of them.
Absolutely, what a comeback album. They were fantastic. I saw them in high school. That's the one band I played in that I saw as a kid. So it was, to play with them was obviously a big deal. To play songs like Love to Love every night, like, that's a dream come true.
Well, I told you many times back when you were doing that gig, you did a great job in that spot. Not easy shoes to fill when you're there for Pete, who was such a big presence on that stage, but I thought you did a phenomenal job.
Thanks. That's very nice of you to say that. Yeah, Pete was, bass is a subtle instrument, so there are a lot of bass players just kind of fade into the back, and that's cool, But Pete was not that. Pete was kind of the star of the band, I mean, it's Phil's band, and he's incredible, and that voice is so iconic. But Pete was kind of like the rock star of the band, so
totally.
He was a lot of the focus so that's not easy to replace. But I just try to be cool and me and respectful. And I think people, and also I knew a lot about the band, so I wasn't just looking for a gig, you know. I think that comes across in subtle ways, that people knew I was up there doing it for good reasons, and people seem to appreciate it. Also, for the people who want something that can't be, if you either get what it is now or you get nothing. And I don't know if you know what I mean, but like, Pete wasn't coming back. So for the people who don't accept the new players, if you don't have the new players, then the band dies. So I thought Vinny did an incredible job reviving the band and getting the reputation back to where it is, where it was when we just finished the band a year or two ago.
I did. I thought so as well, and I thought some really good records there too with Vinny.
Yeah.
And I think you did 1 or 2 studio records yourself, didn't you?
I did too, and I co-wrote some songs with them also.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
lucky.
so
Very lucky.
really, really, very, very cool. So yeah, so you've got that UFO cover on here again, Push to the Limit, and track that we're going to let people hear is a track that you just released a video for as well, called Ant Farm. Tell us about that track.
That's one song that I wrote in the 90s. And I've just always had it laying around, and I played it in some local bands, but it never got heard. So we re-recorded it. We recorded it, and it's just a really cool tune, and it's unique and heavy and dark, and we love it.
So looking at the tour dates, and again, the new Spread Eagle album, The Brutal Divine, is out this Friday. Your next date is in a place I know very, very well. It's a great, great little club in Clifton, New Jersey, Dingbats, and that is coming up. Is it this Friday? You're doing your album release party there?
Yep, and then the album release party there, and then also another album release party on Saturday at halftime in Newark, Delaware, which is another cool place. And I grew up in Delaware, so it's fun to play down there. And and then when we get back, we have some more U.S. shows, and then we go to Slovakia, Austria, Italy, France, Switzerland, Germany, Poland, Finland, Sweden, England, Scotland, and Wales.
I was going to ask you about that, because if folks listening go to spreadeagle.us to see the dates, but you've got a run of shows in June and July. Last one in America, August 1st. And then you've got, then you go to Europe, like you said, Slovakia, August 31st, and then a really big run of dates like all over the place in Europe, running through October. How did Spread Eagle gather such a fan base in Europe? Did you guys work there a lot back in the day, or did it just kind of connect?
No, we never went there. Well, just 4 years ago, I started booking the band, and if no one's going to help us, we're going to help ourselves. And because the music has to be heard, we believe in it that much. So I just started booking the band, and now I book us all over the place. I don't enjoy it, to be honest with you, but it's a necessary evil that has to be done. And until we get a big agent, I put us out there, and people show up, and we go every year. We haven't missed a year overseas, and we're going to continue to go every year.
And that goes
every year. It was like 10 countries last year. It gets bigger every year. It was like 10 countries last year. This year it's 13. Next year it'll be more. We're already talking to bands about co-headlining with us next year. So we went last year with Warrior Soul, a great band and cool dudes. So yeah, we're working it, man.
And that goes a long way, doesn't it, Rob? Like when you're a band, even if you're at the club level and you go to these countries and these places that maybe don't get bands all the time, and you do it consistently and you really connect, I would imagine that goes a long way with those folks. They're appreciative, and that's really how you build, right? Yeah.
I mean, we do it the way Leonard Skinner did it, bands in the 70s. We're out there working it, and a lot of what, unfortunately, a lot of this industry is illusion. There's a lot of the numbers and the likes and the all that crap. And we just get out there and do it. And that is the way to translate the most direct and the most powerful. We're not going to wait for anyone else. We book ourselves, we get out there, we play, and we're going to continue to do so. And yes, people definitely react to it well. And when we play a small town, they're very appreciative, very appreciative. So we'll go to these crazy places because, we get to play. So we love it. We'll go to Wales and all kinds of wacky places. And
is it expensive to do that? I mean, the cost of everything is sky high to travel and all that right now, especially price of fuel. Are you able to, you're doing everything yourself. You got a very old school approach, which I appreciate. Are you able to make it work financially with all that kind of travel?
Absolutely. We always make a profit. Absolutely. We make some money. It's pretty good. It's not a fortune, of course. But yes, we wouldn't be able to do it because there's no funding, because it's us. I mean, of course we have Frontiers Music who release our records, and when we appreciate that. But just because everything else is us, we can't go out. We can't afford to go out there and lose money. So everything, again, you have these, kids with rich parents or whatever, and they can go out and do stuff and buy onto tours. Everything we do it has to make a profit. It has to keep going, So, and that's great. We're doing it for real.
Yeah, no doubt. A lot of respect for what you guys are doing and how you're doing it, because as you said, there's a lot of illusion in this business and not really the reality of what goes on. And for you guys, after all these years, to still be putting the work in at this level and doing it like this, I think it's really admirable.
Thank you. You got to really love it, because if you're playing in a rock band, you're never going to get rich. There are the biggest rock bands that are very rich, but in general. So if you're doing it for money, again, we could do it if we weren't making a profit. But if you're out there just let me do this and maybe I'll get rich, you're in the wrong business. So you have to really love your band. You have to really love your songs. And like I said a few minutes ago, we feel from the beginning, 1990, that we had something to say that enough people didn't hear about. We felt like we were kind of shortchanged in a way. And Ray West, the singer, and I, we've always felt like we need to show who we are. We have unfinished business. So that's why we keep doing it, and we will continue to keep doing it.
Well, lot of respect, man, and I wish you safe travels out there, because it's you got a pretty busy year here lined up. Again, everybody can see the dates at spreadeagle.us. And if you happen to be in New Jersey, great little club that I've many great times at. I'm not in Jersey, otherwise I'd come down, but June 12th, this coming Friday, Dingbats in Clifton, and then the second release party this weekend, Newark, Delaware at halftime. And then additional dates, the remaining American dates include West Virginia, Jacksonville, Florida, Bunnell, Florida, Riverhead, New York, Brooklyn, New York, and in Maryland, in Falston. Those are the U.S. dates as of now for Spread Eagle. I'm assuming, as you said, when you guys then go to Europe, when you come back, you'll do more in America?
Yeah, no, we may even do more before we go. We're always looking for gigs. So, yeah, we'll be booking more, absolutely, this year. And then we'll hit it again hard next year. We're still working this record. That's another thing. People release records, and a lot of bands don't tour them as much as they should, or when the record comes out, the cycle is done. We're just getting started. We'll tour this all next year also.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I talk about that all the time. The music industry has changed so much, where there's so much front load, and then the record comes out, and like 3 days later, it seems like the record's forgotten about and it's over and it's gone. It's like people very rarely sustain support for the record when it's actually available. It's all about front loading it into the first week, and it's crazy to me. It's just like most bands won't play it live, and it's just kind of like a forgotten thing after you put so much work into it. So very smart, because very few people do that anymore. Yeah,
and it's kind of what we were talking about. It's a numbers game. So the first week is when most of the numbers will be there, and that's what they want. They want the numbers in the first week. But
Right.
back when you and I were kids, when you put out a record, that was day one. And then you went out and you toured it for as long as you possibly could. And now we're adopting both styles. We do the 3-month run up that everyone is doing now, and we hope to get really strong sales on the first week. But then we also do old school way, and that's when we hit the road, and we just stay on the road, and we write on the road, and just keep promoting it.
Yeah, that's why when you reached out to me, and I do this with just about everybody now, some acts will hit me up way far in advance of the actual album coming out. There might be a single or two, whatever, and I'm always like, hey, this is live national radio. Let's do it close to when people can get the record, because people's attention spans are so short these days. You want them to be able to hear something they hopefully like, and then be able to react to picking it up pretty quickly. So I think that's the best way to do it, but what do I know? I mean, a lot's changed in the business since we've both been in it.
Well, in all fairness, we've had a pre-sale available for like 3 months, but
sure,
again, like you said, you can't get it though. You can order it and you will get it, but what you're talking about is, sometimes people want to hear about something and hear the record right away. So and again, we appreciate you giving us this chance to talk about it, because all the big bands, everyone knows about them. So the smaller and the medium bands, we really need a bit of help sometimes. So thank you from us and all the other bands like us that you support, because it's huge to us. It's huge. It's so important that we get the word out there, and we just don't, sometimes can't get that mainstream attention. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome, man. I'm happy to help, and wishing you guys well, and wishing you safe travels out there. Again, the new album from Spread Eagle is out and available this coming Friday. It's called The Brutal Divine. And Rob, we're going to let you go, and we're going to play Ant Farm, which is the current new single and video. As you mentioned, this was originally an older song, right?
Yes, it was. And the video was directed by my wife, Lily.
Oh, very cool. All right, well, let's let everybody hear it now, and I'll talk to you soon, man. Safe travels out there, bud.
Thanks again, Eddie. You have a good evening.
You too, man. We'll see you. There's Rob DeLuca, everybody. He is the bass player and the man who produced the music you're about to hear with Spread Eagle. As mentioned, the new album is out Friday, Brutal Divine. This is the track Ant Farm on Trunk Nation.